Good morning and welcome to P&B Sports Show. I'm Arako Tom. Today we turn our attention to two Champions League thrillers from last night that kept the headlines busy. Karabakh 2, Chelsea 2, and a result that nearly shocked the big London club in Baku. A 6-goal classic in Belgium as Club Brugge and Barcelona fought out a 3-3 draw. Joining me to unpack both matches is Walter Odige, a sharp analyst, a lover of football from Lagos. Walter, good morning. Walter, are you there?
Yeah, I'm with you. Good morning.
Good morning. How was your night? I was told that that after work yesterday, you went out to enjoy yourself. But you didn't pay for my flight to Lagos, so I can join you as well.
Don't worry. You can still have your own enjoyment in Abuja. So yeah.
Okay.
All enjoyment is enjoyment.
Exactly. Okay, so let's dive right into it. Let's start in Baku because right now we're not in Nigeria. We are in Baku. What did you make of Chelsea's performance against Karabakh yesterday? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, come again.
I said, what did you make of Chelsea's performance against Karabakh yesterday?
Yeah, it was first off, it was a performance. I think that you put it entirely down on the manager because I think he has not treated the Champions League properly. He's treating the Champions League as if it's one Carabao Cup or one FA Cup, whereby you can just rest players and get away with it every time. He did it against Ajax, and I think he was lucky in that one because they ran riots. Don't forget, Ajax got a red card in the first 20 minutes, and from there Chelsea began to score goals. And he also did it yesterday again, resting so many key players. He needs to understand that the Champions League, no matter the opposition you are playing, even if it is a team from the lesser league, you have to respect them. You have to expect them to put their best because yes, those teams, Karabakh, they're playing Chelsea. They know that this is a one-off game. This is the game of their life. This is the game that they will bring their best because everybody wants to impress. Everybody wants to show show the world because they know the world is watching. They know everybody in the football world is going to be watching that game. So everybody wanted to impress. Everybody wants to bring their best. And I think Enzo Maresca continues to, plays a second side in the Champions League is not good enough because this is the Champions League. It is Europe elites competition. And you always resting your key players for a Champions League game. I will never understand that. And I think that is reflected in the performance, especially in the first half. Karabakh were all over the place. Chelsea were only able to muster 2 shots all game, one on target, which led to the goal for Estival. So I think Chelsea needs to do, Maresca needs to do.
Okay. But when you look at that match,
draw, which I think is a fair result.
But when you look at that match, we saw Estival scoring at 16 minutes, which was an early goal to me. At 16 minutes was an early goal to a lot of people. But I think one thing that most people did not expect was that immediately we saw 2 goals coming from Karabakh, and we were like, what is happening? Because left to me, we watched the play, we looked at the stats, we could see that statistically, it seemed as if Chelsea, they were okay, even with resting players, they seem to be okay. So what's really happened? How do you think that Karabakh were able to beat a more tactical side like Chelsea, or to score 2 early goals against Chelsea? What went wrong?
Football games is about moments, and once you have your moments and you take your chance, trust me, irrespective of the opponents you are playing against, if you have your moments and you do take your chance, trust me, you have a likelihood of winning that game or even having a result in that game. That's what we saw yesterday. In the first 20 minutes, I think Chelsea were on top. They dominated possession, dominated draws and tackles and all of that. But immediately Karabakh took their first goal. Immediately they got their first goal. I think the whole complexion of the game changed, and we saw an improved Karabakh side that put fear under Chelsea. Chelsea defensively were poor on the night. Were really, really poor, and I think it's as a result of so many changes in the defensive starting 11 or the defensive setup, and
Yes.
it affected Chelsea badly in the first half. So yes, in all, I think Karabakh, they started playing with fight and belief, and they could have won it in the end. Yes, they could have won it easily in the end, but with football, they will be elevated and they will be so happy to have ended that game with a draw because it's a massive, massive result
For
against
them.
world champions.
But talking about early goals, talking about goals. We saw that Karabakh, they actually, it seemed like that first goal that they had was actually what they needed to give them that boost, that immediate boost. But looking at their performance, it seems as if in the Champions League there is no small team, because some would have said before that match. I had a conversation with somebody. The person said Chelsea is a Chelsea fan, and I wanted to bring him up. John, like you know him now. I wanted to bring him up, but I said no. He has to watch, and we have to laugh at him. So he will be watching us through the screen. I'm not giving him any right of reply here today. So I looked at it and I said, he said something. He said Karabakh is a team that cannot play. But don't you think that that's the same reason why Chelsea had to rest a lot of players, thinking that this will actually be a walkover for them?
Yes, I agree with you very well. I think it was a mentality. Even I have discussion with the Chelsea fan, and his statement was it's going to be a walk in the park. So just like Chelsea fans, the manager, I think they were overconfident and they underestimated their opposition, which you don't do in football because every team has that quality. Besides, people forget it is 11 versus 11 players. Yes, the quality and might be different for both teams, but in as much as it's 11 against 11, the 11 of the lesser quality team can decide to step up, while your own 11 can decide to falter on the night. So I think they underestimated Karabakh, because if Maresca was going to be playing Bayern Munich or Real Madrid or Arsenal or Juventus or any of the top dogs, I don't think he would go with that starting lineup he used yesterday. And I'm surprised, because I think coaches need to really learn from Vincent Kompany this season. I've watched all Bayern games, and I think he has rested players just twice. And guess where he rested the players? 2 league games. The league game in the weekend, and the one after the Champions League victory. Even in the cup game, he used his first 11. Then in the Champions League, all their 4 Champions League games, he's used the first 11. And you can see the reward: 16 victories out of 16 games. So resting players is good, because it's, for me, it's a sign of you being overconfident. It's a
Yes.
sign of you underestimating your opposition. It's a sign of you being careless, because now in the end, when Chelsea went 2-1 up at halftime, he had to rush and make 3 changes. Maresca, I'm talking about Maresca now. He rushed and make 3 changes, and by then they were only able to get 1 more goal. But if he had started the proper team, go 2 goals or 3 goals up at halftime, I think he can take off his key players and bring in the French players. So I will never understand why a manager would be tampering with his first 11 every week, especially in the Champions League game, because I don't know, what we see Champions League football before is where the best players play. But Enzo Maresca, and I would like to say something. I think what he's doing is a result of they played in the Conference League last season,
Yes.
and yes, so he totally, like, for example, the likes of Cole Palmer, Nicholas Jackson, Enzo Fernandez, the key players, he did not even put them in the squad to play in the Europa League. So he was rotating it. He had a separate squad for the Premier League and a separate squad for the Conference League. So I think that has gotten used to it. He now thinks he can replicate that because it gave them so many good success in the Europa League. I think they won all 8 games in the group phase of the Europa League last season. So probably he's thinking he can, use the same formula in the Champions League. But I tell you that the Champions League is a different
ball game
It's a
entirely.
quality. Yes, it's the
But-
highest level of quality in terms of world club football.
Okay.
And he needs to understand that if not, Chelsea will find themselves, fighting.
Do you know how we know Man U fans? When it comes to Chelsea issues or matters of Chelsea, you people can talk for hours. That's how we know that's how we know Man U fans. But let's dive into some other thing that took place. We had a penalty later on in that match, which turned into a goal, and it seemed as if it was just a defensive mistake that could have been avoided. But what is your take on that particular issue? Then secondly, we also had injury from Romeo Lavis, who went off early, and he showed, and they had to make substitutions, and it also affected the midfield. So what on these two issues? What do you think about the both of them, and how did they affect the match?
Okay, first of all, I would like to talk about Romeo Lavia, because it was the 3-minute injury. We've seen Maresca come out and say so many things. For example, when there was a time Chelsea were having red card every game, and he came out and said he did not set his team up to play with the red card.
Hello, are you there?
A coach like that has a particular setup. It's a coach that has how he wants his team to play. A coach that he has an ideology of the football he wants to play. To be honest with you, I think Romeo Lavia going out very early in the game could have an effect on the team, could have an effect on his players, could have an effect on the setup. But the truth of the matter is, I think the player that came in to replace him is Moises Caicedo, one of the best midfielders in the world. So I don't really think that can be as an excuse. But yes, it could be a reason, because let's be honest with ourselves, Lavia and Caicedo, in as much as you can say they are two similar players, but they are two different players. I think Lavia is a better with the ball at his feet, while Caicedo is better without the ball at his feet. So they are two different profiles. But in the end, probably Maresca will come out in the end and say, you know what, that setup, gives us a level of instability at the beginning, and it changed how we wanted to play the first half. But I think all those excuses or all those talk would be watered down with the fact that Chelsea actually went ahead in the game and they got the first goal through Stavao. And yeah, it was from there everything changed and the game turned around. And like you said, the penalty, it was a penalty. Obviously, everyone could see that it was a penalty, and it was beautifully dispatched by Karabakh. So in all,
but it seems as if there was another substitution that actually turned the table. Then it seems that Enzo Maresca was very swift and tactical with that decision by bringing a player like Garnacho in, and it seems as if it actually affected the way the match was being played in the second half, and then it actually added some flair, which actually gave Chelsea another goal. So what do you think about that substitution? Some people would have said, why didn't you just start him at the beginning? Why bring him in later?
Yes, like I said earlier, I think it is down to I don't understand why Maresca is playing his second 11 in the Champions League. It's shocking because I think Champions League is where all the managers play their best players, especially the way it is now. Because if you keep on resting your important players for lesser games, it's not when you are playing Barcelona you will now play everybody and you think you will get a result. No, it's not when you are playing Bayern. It's not when you are playing Man City or when you are playing Liverpool, one of the top teams, or Real Madrid, that you will now be running Eta Skater looking for 3 points. These are the games you should secure all 3 points in. And to be honest with you, I'm surprised Enzo Maresca has followed this method. But like you said, Garnacho is a totally different player from the player that started, which is Gittins. Gittins is more of, he wants to dribble, he's not direct. He likes to use dribbles and beat his marker. Unlike Garnacho, who's very direct, pacey, and he's raw, unlike Gittins. And I think he has more experience than Gittins also. But he could have started with Garnacho, but I think it's his policy, and we'll have to respect that for now. But coming into the second half, yes, it was a master stroke, not just Garnacho, also Delap. Delap came in the second half, and the big influence in how the second half pans out for Chelsea. And also he had 3 other chances for Enzo Fernandez and Val. So in all, it was a good performance from Chelsea in the second half, but like I said, it wasn't enough because the error or the mistake has been done in the first half, and they were only able to salvage a draw from that game rather than all 3 points. So who to blame? For me, Enzo Maresca will take the blame 100%, because you keep on complaining that you don't have good defenders or you don't trust your defense and all of that.
I think talking about defense, to me, I feel the defensive rotation, people are wondering, is it that, like you rightly said, I think you've already cleared the air on that, but I think that when it comes to European fixtures like this, Chelsea should be a team that should value more defense. If you want to give people time to play, if you want to water down a particular match, you are saying that it's Karabag, that maybe the team is not as big as Chelsea, it does not have a rich history as Chelsea, then you are not bringing in the right defensive rotation. So I think it's something that Chelsea have to actually look into. But moving forward, a team like Karabag, they've added points, and yes, Chelsea, it didn't come out the way that they expected it. What is your opinion? What do you think about Karabag? What do you think they expected in Chelsea, and how did you think that they performed?
Definitely, the expectation, what the manager would tell the players going to that game is, you know what, go out there, give your best, fight for every battle. Even if we are going to lose this game, let it be respectable. Let's not go out and lose 5-0. Let's not go out and lose 4-0, 3-0. Let's give a fight. Let's make our fans proud. And the most important thing, they had the home support. So, yes, you had your home fans cheering you up. So, I think that is the expectation. Everybody in Karabag would be excited that they got away with the draw. Mind you, this same Karabag team, they defeated Benfica in the opening week of the Champions League. They defeated Benfica, coming back from a goal down to win 2-1 at Benfica. So they've shown that they are a good side. They show and if their opponent, no matter how big they are, is sleeping, they can capitalize on their sleep and take big points. And I think that point yesterday, that should be one of their biggest results in the club history. I'm sure the fans this morning, the kids going to school, everybody will still be talking about the result. They'll be talking about how they had the world champions to a draw. So it's a beautiful result. It's a beautiful moment for the fans and all of them. So yes, I think
congratulations to Karabag. I'm so happy. They are now co-world club championships champions. They are now co-world club champions. Congratulations to them for sharing it right now with Chelsea. Well, we're going to be going on a short break. We will be leaving Baku. We are back in Nigeria. But after the break, we'll be going straight to Belgium, and we'll be talking about the 3-3 match that had Club Brugge and our own beloved Barcelona. So grab your teacup and don't go anywhere, because P&B Sports 2 will be right back. Welcome back to P&B Sports Show. I'm still your host, Aroko Tom, and we've had an exciting first half of the show with my guest Walter Odige breaking down Chelsea's 2-2 draw with Karabakh. But the night didn't end there. In Belgium, we witnessed an absolute thriller. Club Brugge 3, Barcelona 3, 6 goals drama, and a last-minute VAR twist that left fans gasping for breath. Barcelona fought from behind 3 times, but questions remains over their defensive shape and game control. Club Brugge, on the other hand, showed the world they can trade punches with the very best. Fearless, direct, and creative. Now, Walter, let's get into this one. Barca scored 3, but still couldn't win. What went wrong defensively for Xavi's men? And how did Club Brugge manage to find that much space to attack them?
Nothing went wrong. If you ask me, nothing went wrong for Barcelona. It is something that we all know. Everyone in the world of football know that Barca plays an high line, a dangerous high line. And on the night, if they face a team that can capitalize on their high line, a team with pacey forward, and a team that study them properly and execute their plan, I think Barcelona defense will have trouble. What they've been relying on, or what they've been basking on, is the fact that they've got a fantastic attack as well that can outscore the goals the defense will let in. So, but that attack this season has been struggling. That's down to the fact that they've had so many injuries. Lewandowski hasn't played as much as he played last season. Rafinha has been injured for like over 2 months now. So it's a sad time period for Barcelona. They are really, really struggling, and their defensive issues is showing mightily this period. So, to be honest with you, I think it's been coming. It's what everybody in the world of football know, that Barcelona plays an high line, a dangerous high line, and I think it's finally catching up with them, because we saw it against Real Madrid, we've seen it several times this season. We've seen it against Sevilla, seen it against PSG, and also we saw it last night against what's it called now, Club Brugge. So for me, I think Barcelona has they've been exposed, but it's something we've known since last season, that they operate on the high line and it is dangerous. But what covered them last season is their fantastic attack. That if you score 2, they are ready to score 5. If you score 2, 3, they are ready to score 6. So, but this season they've been hit with injuries. There's no Pedro in that attack.
But to cut it short, a team that has a player like Lamine Yamal, the proud young man like Lamine Yamal, should that team be struggling? Yes, is a team sport, but a team that has a player like Lamine Yamal, to me, shouldn't be struggling. But apart from that, we can also look at it and say that we saw players that act for Brugge, Forbes, who scored twice. And he's a well-known player. He's a player that over time has proved himself. And people are like, what is it? Is it really injury issues? Is it defense? Is it really injury issues? Is it a defense problem? Or is it that they are just meeting better sides these days, and teams are now used to their high line, like you've actually said? So I think
yes, I think teams are used to Barcelona high lines these days. To be honest with you, teams are used to their high lines, because now all you just need to do is put 2 pacey forward and 1 very good creator that will create for those pacey forwards. And trust me, you will expose Barca. So unlike last season, they had Inigo Martinez, who was very, very good in that high line, orchestrating the high line and making sure that the opposition is caught offside most of the times. But this season, he has left for Al Nassr. And I don't know why Barcelona sanctioned that deal if they know they are not going to bring in a replacement, because he was pivotal to Barcelona's success last season. I was surprised that they let him go. Maybe the money was tempting and all of that.
Yes, I read somewhere that it was a financial decision.
But like I said, I would put it all on injuries. You cannot have the sort of injuries they've had this season. There's a period Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, Rafinha were out. Now they are currently missing Pedri, Lewandowski, Rafinha. Those are massive injuries. Those are 3 first-team players. Sorry, I forgot Gavi. Gavi is also out. Gavi, Pedri, Lewandowski, Rafinha. Those are four, first team players that were crucial to them having a successful season last season. So just imagine your four best player at any club being out. Imagine a Manchester City without Rodri, Diaz, Haaland, and Donnarumma, and you see the difference in quality. So I feel for them because this now will be excuses because that's the world of where we are now. You need to produce results with what you've got, and I am sure Hansi Flick will try his best to continue producing the little he can until he has his fully fit squad back. But in all, they need to turn the table around and soon because you might end up missing out on the Champions League qualification if you don't switch it up early enough. And that being said, you made mention of Forbes, whom I think was electric yesterday. He got a Player of the Week nomination, him alongside Merino for Arsenal, Seaman, and Phil Foden. He got 2 goals and 1 assist against Barcelona. That was incredible. I think he was really, really an handful for the Barcelona defense yesterday. I'm not surprised. I'm surprised by it, but to be honest with you, really, really, really good result for Club Brugge yesterday.
Okay. But moving forward, we saw Ferran Torres. He had a goal. We could also see Lamine Yamal, who had a solo goal. The young man was just being himself. He also had a long goal. But also at the end, we could also see that there was a VAR overturn on a goal, which people were surprised about. In my area, let me tell you what happened. The moment that goal went in, everybody shouted goal. It seemed as if nobody wanted Barcelona to win yesterday. But it's like Barcelona have a lot of enemies this period. The next thing we heard was goal. Then after the VAR overturned it, the next thing I saw people leaving the ball houses when they were watching matches. So it seemed as if the question that people are asking now is it the VAR overturn? Was it necessary? Did it have to happen? Was it obvious? Because it seems that the VAR now is making football is making it to not be in its natural state or something. So what do you think about that? I'm talking straight about the VAR. Then from there you can then to highlight Ferran Torres and Lamine Yamal's performance as well.
To be honest with you, I think that was a good goal for Club Brugge. I don't know why on earth that goal was overturned. I think it's just the referee wanting to be accurate, doesn't want to be the headline, doesn't want to be the reason why Barcelona lost the game. But to be honest with you, I think it was a good goal. It was a beautifully taken goal, and I'm honestly surprised that they cancelled that goal. So I think they spared Barcelona blushes because that would have easily been a defeat for Barcelona. But that being said, like you said, I should highlight Yamal's and Ferran Torres' performance.
Yes, and please, while he's highlighting Yamal's and Ferran Torres' performance, please can we pull up the stats for the match?
Okay, Yamal is a young man, but he's, for me, in my own personal opinion, he's really, really the best player in the world at this moment in time. He's an entertainer. He's someone that I can pay loads of money to see. He's someone that I really believe in his talent, and he proved again yesterday. Beautiful goal he scored, and apart from the goal, the way he takes on players, the way he sees the pass and executes it perfectly well, the way he combines with the teammates, the way he takes leadership and assumes responsibilities when the team is down. I think that is phenomenal for a 18-year-old kid. And for Ferran, yes, I'm not really Ferran's biggest fan, but I think he did very well yesterday, and he was part of the reason why Barcelona were able to get a draw from that game.
Okay. Fantastic. Well, what a night it's been in the UEFA Champions League. You know, drama in Belgium, tension in Baku, and stories that reminded us why we love the game of football. Big thanks to my Oga, my guest, the #1 sports analyst in Lagos, Mr. Walter Odige, for joining us and breaking down all the action. Thank you so much, Walter.
Yeah, the pleasure is mine.
Okay, and to those watching from home and online, thank you for spending your money with us here on the P&B Sports Show. We'll be back tomorrow with more football stories, analysis, and everything that makes sports come alive. Until then, keep your eyes on the game, your heart on the sport, and remember, on P&B Sports, we don't just talk sports, we live it. I'm Araka Tom, signing off, and see you next time.